Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab in the wee hours of the morning. I'm gonna get lesson in before I hit the gym, but I'm back in the book. Oh, y'all done got me myotized. God damn it. I can't get out the book, but I got a nice little lesson for you. This is some good information. Let's rock. Rightisms. 25 rules live by storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. So you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers know thyself. And two, Maya, be true. That's where we at in the book of Maya. And this title is The Illumination of the Mind with the Truth of Maya. I love this. This is my wheelhouse, so we're gonna have some fun. Let's go. All right. The human mind perceives everything according to what? Pairs, opposites, and therefore sees itself as what? As a subject in a world of other what? Subjects or objects, individuals, right? But when the mind is transcended, aka transformed, the duality of your mind, which you have two hemispheres, the left and the right, the duality of the mind, which you have to use them equally, and which leads to the triad of what they call perception, is also transcendent. Your higher consciousness. Think about it. What? You cannot think of differences here, there, up, down, in, out, etc. Do opposites. That's how the mind works, right? We've been programmed to think that. Now, when you learn to go beyond your dual thought consciousness, right? Even if you are not a adapt meditator, and I am a practicing yogi, but even if you're not good at meditating, you can stop the thoughts of your mind for long periods. Focus, block out the nonsense. Everybody, my mom is wondering, I can't meditate. Tell your mind, but that's because you haven't learned to control the mind, and you should be able to concentrate the mind for at least a few seconds. Let's start. That's the start. If you can do it for 5 seconds, you can do it for 10. You start carrying on. Again, it's a process to be learned. The awareness that you acquire of the world ceases during this time. Nothing else exists. That's what we call it meditation. You're communing with what? Your inner self, your higher self. I know it to be God. This is basically what happens whenever you really concentrate, go inside yourself on something, anything. Reflect on those moments where you were what? Trying to remember something intensely. It's in there, but you trying to pull it out. Like the computer. All you gotta do is hit a button, it go right to the file and pull it out. And the mind got some thought. Okay, so it takes a little more time. And sometimes you grasp it, sometimes you don't. But what was your experience during that time? You trying to remember what you think you know, what you might hope you know, and nothing else matters. Again, we do it unconsciously. When you learn how to use this thing called the brain, your mind, When you learn how to actually use it, master it, oh, you'll stop a whole lot of unnecessary stuff. You stop doing a whole bunch of why? Because you know better. If you knew better, you do better. That's why intelligent people do smart stuff. Ignorant people do dumb stuff. Simple. In this moment, at that moment, there is no thoughts of awareness of the world. Nothing else matters. Again, when we in our own world, everybody do it, block everything out for their own personal use. Practice doing that. I do every day called meditation. And this is similar to what occurs what in your dreamless state. That's the deepest state that you go into. That where you die. That's where you go. And I tell you all the time. But why? You don't remember it. I know when I go in that state, well, I'm a lucid dreamer. I got total control over my mind. I'm in control on every level. Hermes Transfiguristus, thrice great. That means in the physical world, the awakened world, I'm good. In the dream world, I'm lucid dreaming. I'm good. In the deep sleep dream world, I'm conscious of that. So I'm right on each level. Conscious. That's what true consciousness is. And the difference is that when in the dreamless state, that I'm comfortable in, you're not. You are not aware of it. I am. And those who practice yoga, meditation, they all are too. It ain't just me. No, no, everybody got that concept. It is understood when you can know how to control this thing called the brain. When this transcendental experience occurs, again, everybody had to have God experience for themselves. Believing in God ain't experiencing God. Okay, you got to have something, gnosis, to give you experience of God. So until you had that, some of us haven't had it, obviously. So okay, you haven't had it yet. Keep working. Obviously, you're doing something wrong. When this transcendental experience happens, you get in touch with God, it occurs. There is once again what that experience of what oneness of existence. It ain't he separated from you. You become one with him. That's knowing thyself. That's the goal for all right thinkers and everybody else. The illusion of one's mind has dissolved what back into the primordial ocean of what infinite being from which the creation arose. One with God, we don't know that when we come in this world as newborns. Memories wipe clean. So they say you got to remember who you are. So I say no, learn. They say remember. But this is the conscious perception of the liberated sage endowed with what? Enlightenment. When you have knowledge of self, when you know you and God are one, you have everything you need. The enlightened sage, listen, perceived him or herself. It ain't just a man thing. Okay, understand that. I can't stand religion to my women can't preach in the pulpit. Why? Oh, she can have your baby. She can do it, but she can't preach the word of God. Are you kidding me? So I got an issue with that. That's just personal. All right, but sage perceived him or herself. That's the enlightened being who practiced what they know, and that primordial God who arose out of what the primordial waters, the noon, with the original thought. Remember, Tut thought himself into existence. He created himself from the heart, from the thought. And the entire creations is that same objects of creation. Everything was brought the same way, but never did truly did undergo an irreversible transformation. When you become enlightened, you're not gonna go back to being ignorant. It's a one-shot deal, a one-way deal. I've personally, I've yet to hear about somebody who got enlightened and went back to ignorant, to being dumb. That's what I'm just saying. All right. But in this manner, the self-discipline that you learn from Maat, okay, for the daily practice of living according to what is real and true. That's what leads to your conscious perception of what that which is real and true, aka knowledge of self. That's what's true and real. This is not. It's an illusion. But it's, again, if I made the statement, please don't argue, understand it, or just let it be. I ain't got time to keep going back and forth. This oneness that's discovered within the vast darkness of your mind is the objective of all spiritual disciplines. If you were to remain within this darkness long enough and you were able to what penetrate it deeply enough, then you would what? you would now discover that it is not void or empty. Of course, it's dark. I mean, it's nothing. This void is in reality, hello, pure potential. Chaos, that's the noon. Every possibility is there. You as a human being, every possibility is in you. You just got to figure it out. Hello? And being, watch this, you the void or the darkness is potential being in a primordial ocean of what? Undifferentiated consciousness, meaning we have a big ocean of what consciousness that we have individuals that break it down for themselves. You take your little slice and live your life. Okay. Which lies in the deeper levels of what one's mind. You live it through this, the illusion of the mind, of the ignorant mind, which causes ordinary. See, for most people, ignorant is ordinary, obviously, because ordinary human consciousness to arise has dissolved what back into the primordial ocean of infinite being from which it rose as a wave rises out of the ocean and recedes back. Ebb and flow. It comes in, it goes out. It comes in and goes out. These are thoughts that go to your mind. They come in, they go out. But you got to be the one who grasp and understand them. Well, now, creation implies that your perception of the world, again, as a world rather than the netter that you are, because you're ignorant of yourself. But when you are enlightened, you are a liberated sage. We see the world, watch this, as it truly is a manifestation of Netta through Nettas, the elements, the consciousness, the force, okay? All elements given by God, the one Netta. While the Netters, again, plural, appear as objects of the world in time and space. And to the ignorant masses, I keep telling you, they call y'all ignorant. The sage knows them to be what? Expressions from the divine in much the same way as everything in your dream is what? Is in reality just an expression in your mind. You can't dream nothing outside your own consciousness, so you control all of that. When you learn how to control this, you learn how to control all of that again. That's the purpose. Furthermore, a liberated sage or an enlightened right thinker perceive him or herself again as the primordial ocean from which all arises through thought. We all become one with God. Thus, what is considered to be existence in reality a set of thoughts, individual, from the cosmic mind, the one God, which have stirred up in the ocean of primordial consciousness for every individual. Consciousness is devoid of time and space. It don't care. It is eternal and ever abiding. That's your individual. Therefore, the universe and the primary ocean are understood to be what? One and the same by an enlightened right thinker, aka a sage, while all you other unenlightened, ignorant people, y'all see the world full of multiplicity and objects which exist in time and space. Okay, what's the difference there? Most people are unaware of this level of consciousness, your level of consciousness, how you think, what you feel. To remain, watch this level of consciousness and be able to remain as if it what the surface of an ocean, experiencing themselves, every individual, others, living being objects in the world. We all here, yeah, as various waves rising and the continual falling, they consider the ocean, sometimes rising and receding gently, and other times crashing to each other with force. But when you are on the surface of the ocean, pay attention, you experience gentle conditions, or you may experience being buffeted around when the wind is rough. Okay, the seas is rough. However, if you're able to go down deep within yourself, down far enough, what happens? You will experience absolute tranquility, peace. Even if there is raging storms up above, that's called having the what? The peace, order, and chaos. maintaining your position. I told you, I'm comfortable in uncomfortable position. I'm not going to wild out. I'm not going to act out. I'm not going to get ignorant. I'm going to do what I need to do to maintain me. That's what it's all about. Okay. And this diving deep within myself, staying within me, is like going into the ocean of consciousness with yourself and accomplish this through what? Various practices of different yogas. Studying daily, the teachings, meditating daily, offering up selfless service daily, promoting Hotep supreme peace within oneself in all situations. I just told you that's what I do. I live the Maya philosophy because I learn it, I practice it, and I know it worked for that perspective. Why? I practice it. I do it every day. I tell you every day, Maya. Okay. In this manner, when you do this, in this manner, now your discipline of Maya or the daily practice of living according to what the real true life leads, what? To conscious realization or perceptions of what which is real and true. You starting to know the truth. You starting to know thyself. That's the truth. At the deepest level, the source of all things is to what? Be discovered by every individual for them or herself, him or herself. Again, it's equal opportunity. This source is God, is variously known. We call it, were you ready? Asar, Amun, Nabercha, Aset, etc. We got all different kind of names for the concept and the aspect of that perception that we have as God. And this source is also, you ready? Your innermost self. So you are them and they are you. Get the concept? Now they take the body. When I see people talking about the body going to heaven, no, don't do that. The body stays here. The body is the earth. Simple as that. It's just, ain't the body ain't going nowhere. It's in going in the ground. Okay. The soul belongs to and comes from God, which rests where? In heaven. That's where you want to go. If your soul is divine, let me see if I can make this point to you. This I hope I can get this across. If the soul of all human beings are divine, what's our destiny? Back to God. So our destiny is also divine. We just got to figure out what the journey to get there, to know thyself. That's what divinity is. Divinity is coming back from spirit to matter. Matter becoming spiritually enlightened, and when the physical body dies, the spirit goes home. It's really simple. But again, we make everything complicated. But I try to make it real simple for you. Why? We ain't got to be brain surgeons to know thyself. That's why. It ain't no. I ain't trying to play. No, don't play that game. Don't do that, please. Or as we stated earlier, again, that was ancient Egyptian proverb. The body is of earth. The soul belongs to heaven. That's where it's going to go back. If it's enlightened, if it's not enlightened, it's going to stay here on earth. That's the trapment. This is the trap right here. The physical body entraps the spirit until what? The spirit get enlightened by the physical body that is in, and the person with the physical body got his own conscience to do just that. Ain't no God chose you. Ain't no. Everybody got the same thing. Okay, we all start down here. God is up here. Your job is to get there by hook or crook. Moving on. And again, this is fluff. Now I'm gonna get this in. I said I got a little bit of time. Okay, here you go. Now, as I stated earlier, Mayat is that which is true. Okay, and that which is true is what? Ceaseless. It don't change. Her feather don't budge. I love that. It's always there. That's regulation. That's order. Okay, that's discipline. It's ceaseless and is regular from what? Beginning to end. Therefore, because Mayat tells the sun you got to go 12 hours from east to west, and then over 12 hours in the dua. That's what the sun does. Follow Mayat. God put Mayat in charge once he came out of the dua. Okay? Why? Sun get 12 hours, daylight, 12 hours of darkness. They got to share. That's why. Duality, excuse me. But all developments in between the beginning and the end, which seem to arise and fall, to be born, to have life, and then to die. That's the cycle. That's the cycle of everything. That's God. He born in the morning, he get old to the day and dies and get old at the end and go into the underworld and come back and be born again. That's the cycle. Everybody. There are, watch this, life and die. Okay, they are in reality really illusions of what one's mind, a keen insight into the wisdom of the four states of consciousness: waking, dream, and the dreamless sleep. Okay, the deep sleep. That's what our moon resides. But that's where you go, and you ain't aware of it. But those who are enlightened are aware of that. So we preparing what to die. We know where we're going. I do. I ain't got a problem. He didn't know where he was going when he died. He's scared that death. He's scared. Oh man, that was too funny. But I keep using it as an example. Don't make a difference to me. That's your dad. I don't give a damn. It happened. I watched it. I experienced it. I can tell you about that. While I watched him. I watched my grandfather die. He was cool as a cucumber. So I know the difference between that. Okay, I know a few people who passed without freaking out. Moving on. But those are three states of consciousness. And when you enter the teachings, when you master the teachings of Maya, it will provide you an effective means to transform the miseries of human life existence, and it will lead you to you, the apparent aspirant, right thinker, to what your innermost shrine, the abode of absolute truth within yourself, which is symbolized by what? The aspirant's movement closer and closer to what we call the Holy of Holies consciousness, where who? Asar is located in the coffin, in the tomb. The aspirant now moves closer and closer to who? Asar, as he or she passes the test of the various accessories of Mayat philosophy at Judgment Day, right? The 42 judges and the goddesses who uphold each of the 42 major precepts of Mayat. The council of judgment that you see up there, that's each one that when you say, I have not, they're the ones going to say, yeah, okay. Okay. Those are all inside you. Okay. And the 42 precepts of Mayat. This coupled with what? The identification of the name of you, the aspirant, with that of Asar. I will become Asar P-Funk. Symbolizes that you have atoned of the initiate, you have reached a level of innermost cosmic being, which is identical with that of the supreme being, Asar. The belief in the physical body and of the human personality as being real and abiding is untrue, while the belief in the human soul as the embodied eternal real self is the truth. The body is not, the spirit is. We just told you the body is of earth, the spirit is the heaven. The soul, which is the innermost reality of your essence, who you are, is the sustainer of your astral and physical bodies, is the true essence of your being, spirit, soul in you. And your spirit, excuse me, your spiritual discipline of Maya is the way, or we call the vehicle, the means to what? Achieve this realization of conscious fact. To be able to know thyself in that judgment day, have your heart lighten up from the purity of living right, selfless service, be light as Maya's feather when you pass on and go to heaven and go home, be going one with God. It must be clearly understood that the practice of Mayat, or righteous actions, alone, without the wisdom of experiencing of the self, will not lead to supreme perfection. You need more initiated yoga wisdom and the humility which develops with what you offering what selfless service. This is necessary to promote your true understanding of the truth in much the same way that dirt is cleansed with soap. When you get from use it, you wash it over and you wash it all away. Okay, there are many who follow the teachings of righteousness and may even be sincere. However, they do not achieve higher spiritual realizations, nor are they able to control, you ready? The egoism. That right there is a hindrance. If you can't control your ego mind, at times they may seem humble, okay, but forthright and at peace. And at other times, that's the difference right there. They may have flights of passion, anger, and may be tormented with continued flow of what? Desires of the flesh and mental, physical illness. My dude, my pastor, I have yet to see him lose his cool, freak out, wild out, and it's almost 50 years. So he's pretty stable in what he's doing. I know that for a fact. So I'm practicing because that brother is sharp when it comes to handling himself. But the mental state of conflict, he got no clue about my he ain't no Maat, no. All right. There's the mental state of conflict will persist. Why? Because they have not proceeded beyond the intellectual level of the teachings. It ain't just intellectual. You got to experience it. You got to understand it. They have not been able to achieve their higher spiritual realization of the inner truth which lie beyond the conscious mind of the ignorant person who don't know themselves. If you use your mind and senses in order to determine what is real, that's what they're trying to tell you. What is a cause of happiness and what is not, etc. You are using an incomplete method and it will fail, which will always fall short, aka fail. Your soul longs for what? The eternal truth, the entire truth of its true nature. It wants to know itself. The mind and the heart, the senses can only perceive minuscule pieces of the truth, fragments every now and then. But the mind is limited and so therefore cannot perceive the truth in its totality. So therefore there is always some lingering unfulfilled desires, and that's understandable, but absolute truth and transcendental peace which leads to mastery right there, self-mastery over the relative world cannot be found by what? Intellectually perfecting one's knowledge of the wisdom teachings. Nope. So whenever your mind is used for, you will encounter imperfect perceptions which are limited by the notions of the mind and the ability of the senses, the physical body. The only way to perceive the truth is to not use the mind or the body. It's all internal, not the body or mind. And I'm gonna stop right there. I see the clock. I'll be back with some more, but I thought that was a good understanding of how to illuminate your mind with the truth of my live it, practice it, understand, learn it, and you're better for it. Trust me, that's what I do. I'll be right back. Right thinkers and closing. No, I'm gonna get this. I got a little more. Got a little more. Can I get it in? Let's go. All right, idea. But now this idea may be likened to what a group of blind. This I got to get this in. A group of blind people, bunch of ignorant people who are touching a pyramid. Now each one uses their available senses to touch. One may think it is a slanted wall. Okay. Another may think it's a mountain. Another may think it's a house. All of these analysis are what? Preposterous for what? For someone who has the faculty of what? Sight. If you're blind, you can't rely on your eyes. You can't rely on your hands. Why? They could lie. That's what I'm telling you. The senses don't always tell the truth. And watch this. All at once, the complete structure is taken in because the faculty of sight takes care of all that nonsense. So having knowledge of sight, having knowledge of self is just like that. Having insight into everything that you have to be dealing with. But watch this. Now, all at once, the image is perceived in its entirety. Okay, this is the way in which transcendental information or intuitional knowledge works, as opposed to what the mind and the senses is eternal. I know this. I just know it. It's inside. That's intuition. Your mind and senses is the physical body. Get the concept? The I touch something, it sends a signal to the brain. Hot, cold, interact. That's all interacting. That's physical. But your inner vision, third eye vision, right? The consciousness, because you are holding on to them. Watch this. Excuse me. But your inner vision works opposed to the mind and the senses. The mind and the senses constrict your inner vision. There you go, because you are holding on to them due to your what? Ignorance and misunderstanding of your true nature. You believe in what? The ego. You're clinging to your ego. I told you I do this. your ego concept, and it forces you to use your mind and the senses in the wrong manner, because only with the mind and the senses is it possible to perceive yourself as what? Separate. That's the ego personality. Me, I, you, them. Get the concept? You must transcend the fear of giving up your ego and dive deeply into the transcendental realm of what? Consciousness. Let it go. When you are able to do this, now you will what? Discover the deeper levels of consciousness which you possess, and you will now view the ego and waking states of transitory extensions of your true self. You start to realize that the ego ain't all of that. He works for you. You don't work for him. That's the concept I want to get to that. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Right thing is, in closing, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I know that my right thinkers have passed away. I'll be right back. I'm about to hit the gym right now.